We are back with another Nintendo Switch accessory video. This time I'm sharing 10 of my favorite accessories that I use day to day. I have done a similar video about a year or so ago, but a few things have changed since then with the release of new products all the time and my needs changing. So I wanted to share this with you guys today if you are a new Switch owner or you're just an accessory hoarder like me. By the way, hey, my name is Kat. Welcome back to my channel, and if you're new here, thank you so much for joining. Our channel has grown quite a bit just in the last few weeks, so thank you so much for your support. We are building such a kind and welcoming community. We love the good vibes here. So if you're into gaming and that sounds like something you might want to be a part of, feel free to join us and subscribe down below. So let's just go ahead and dive right in. The first accessory that I will recommend to you is a tempered glass screen protector. Now it is already installed on my Switch, of course. With any of my devices, the tempered glass screen protector is the first thing that I put on as soon as I unbox it, and I recommend you do the same. If not to protect your expensive investment, it just really bothers me whenever there are scratches on the screen that I'm using. The brand that I use is Orzly. It's the one that I've used since my very first Switch a couple or so years ago. I haven't found a reason to try another brand, but I'm sure as long as it's got good reviews, you will be protected as well. The second thing I'm not able to show you again because it's inside my Switch, but it's a micro SD card. The brand that I use is Sandisk, but all the products will also be linked down below for the exact ones that I use. So definitely check out the description box if you're curious about any of these. I'm currently using a 400GB card on my main Switch and a 256 one for my secondary Switch. The Switch does come with 32GB of internal memory, but that is hardly enough. If you're downloading any of your games or even just the free ones available on the shop, you will very quickly run out of those 32GB. So besides a screen protector, an SD card is something that I would recommend you get as soon as you buy your Switch. I would like to caution some of you that if you are doing any of your shopping online, that there are unfortunately some sellers that advertise fake SD cards. But as long as you're using a reputable seller like the ones that I've linked below, you should be all set. Or better yet, you can go to a local shop like Best Buy to buy one in person that you can test right away. My next accessory must-have are grips. So the one that I currently have on my Animal Crossing Switch here is the Smatree Grip. The reason that I like this one is because of a couple things. The grips on it is quite low profile, but I have smaller hands, so it works great for me. I play a lot on handheld mode, mostly on handheld mode, so grips are very important to me to avoid hand cramps as much as possible. I also like the frosted back on this one because it shows off the design on your Switch without it being like the glossy clear ones that show a lot of fingerprints. Another thing that I like is the kickstand being exposed. So whether you are wanting to access your micro SD card or you want to play on tabletop mode, then you can easily do that without removing your case. And lastly, it also has a quick access to your Joy-Cons, which is great. So again, for tabletop mode, you can just easily slide those out and then pop the kickstand open and you're good to go. The protection on this one is decent as well. It's nothing too bulky, but it does the job for sure. My second grip pick is this one by OIVO. I read some of your comments saying that you purchased this after seeing it from my Switch collection video and that you've been loving it, so I'm so glad to hear. It is very similar to the more popular Satisfy grip with the extended side right here, which makes it more comfortable to grip since the thumbstick on the right side lays a little bit lower, so it is very comfortable. For me personally, because I do have smaller hands, it tends to make my Switch feel a little heavier, but it doesn't bother me too much. I also like that it has this giant kickstand on the back for tabletop play, or if you want to display your Switch while charging it, then this does a great job doing that because it has enough room at the bottom to let your cable through. Kind of nice little bonus, which I don't personally use, but it's nice to have there. Again, if you're using this as like a display piece on your TV console, or if you want to travel with just this in your bag, then you are actually able to store 5 games on the back of this, which is great. So it slides in quite easily. It's got some rubber grips on the side to make sure that your Switch isn't scratching onto the plastic, but here is how it looks. It is very, very comfortable. So between this one and the Smatree one, I'm all set for a more compact version, which is what I usually take with me on the go and put in a case. And this is for longer handheld play at home. Most grips that I own is for the full-sized Switch, but since I recently got a Switch Lite, I also had to find one for it, and my absolute favorite is this clear one by HORI as well. So I love it because it is a full coverage shell. It swings open like so, and it very easily just kind of clamps shut at the top. And it offers nice full coverage protection for your light, and it also has little grips on the back. So it definitely helps being able to add more grip to your Switch Lite since it is a little bit smaller. This size of grip works amazing for me, but if you are wanting a bigger option for the Switch Lite, the OIVO one does come in a Switch Lite form factor as well. Now if you want another handheld option but with more of a real controller feel, then these are for you. These are the HORI Split Pad Pro. A few of you actually have asked for a review on these ones, but I can share a couple of my thoughts on them with you right now. So they do slide on the sides of your Switch just like a Joycon would, and it makes your Switch look like a big boy. This is a hefty Switch, but the comfort is unreal. It feels like you're using a Pro controller or even an Xbox One controller, which happens to be my favorite controller. It's just extremely comfortable, but if you have a Switch Pro controller, I find the buttons and the thumbsticks to feel quite similar. At least I personally don't notice that much difference. The cool thing about it though is that it does have additional buttons if you want to assign anything, and it also has a turbo mode, which I personally don't get any use out of, but I'm sure a lot of you will find something for it. So it is definitely a great handheld controller. It pulls power from the Switch, so you don't ever have to worry about recharging this, unlike other third-party options. The one downside that I don't quite like about it is that it doesn't have HD rumble or even just regular rumble. Having no motion control doesn't bother me too much, but a number of games that I play rely on the rumble feature, so I definitely miss it whenever I'm using the Split Pad Pro. Keeping with the theme of controllers, I do really recommend Nintendo's own Switch Pro controller. It is very comfortable for long sessions, and while I do play my Switch on handheld mode most of the times that I do dock it, I find a Pro controller to be very important. This is way more comfortable than having your Joy-Cons on the grip that came with the Switch. While that is still a great option if you're not wanting to spend your budget on another controller, I just find it's great to have even as a spare controller. Maybe you'll need it if you're doing a multiplayer night at your house. On to my next accessory, which I do consider to be an accessory that I personally really love, and those are custom shells. Custom shells allow you to, well, customize the look of your Nintendo Switch. There are so many shell and button options available now. When I first started reshelling my Switch a few years ago, the options weren't that many, and it was very hard to get in Canada. So I'm really glad to have found this company called Extreme Rate. They make the most amazing high quality shells, not just for your Switch, but they also do it for the Xbox and PlayStation. But as you can see, they make your accessories look incredible. You might be able to tell that I love the retro look. So this one I've made into a original Gameboy DMG look, and this atomic purple one also reminds me of the Game Boy Color. So I highly recommend, and if you want to see me do a shell swap for Joy-Cons or my Switch Lite, I do have a couple tutorials coming out very soon, so please keep an eye out on those. Here is also my Switch Lite with an Extreme Rate case in Glacier Blue, and again, reminds me of the Glacier Blue Game Boy Advance. I love Game Boys if you can't tell already, so I love that I'm able to incorporate that with my Switch collection as well. The next item that I recommend are thumb grips. So I have these really cute cat paw themed ones on my Switch Lite right now, but I have a bunch of different ones in many colors that I use for all my Joy-Cons. I use thumb grips on all my consoles and handhelds, and you might have noticed I even have them on my Split Pad Pro right here. So same as how grip cases offer more comfortable play, Thumb grips do the same. I don't know about you, but the sticks on the Joy-Cons are a little too small, and while I keep saying that I do have smaller hands, it can still feel a little bit uncomfortable and almost slippery, so the grips do add more grip to it, as the name suggests, and it's just, again, more comfortable for longer play. Now what about if I take my Switch with me out on the road? And the battery life on these Switches have been improved on the version 2 Switch and the Switch Lite, but sometimes they might still not be enough. So for that I recommend a portable battery. This one here is a 26,800 milliamp one. This was gifted to me, so I can't find the links online where to purchase it, but what I did end up linking is the Anker portable battery, which I actually used to have the small Nintendo branded one, and they have different battery capacities available from 10,000 to 20,000, also 26,800, I believe. And besides all the great reviews for that one, Nintendo was willing to put their brand on it, so I would say that it's a pretty safe choice for your Switch. Another accessory that I love for taking my Switch on the go is a stand. The kickstand that is built in on the Switch, while it works, it can be flimsy and it doesn't exactly offer different viewing angles, but this one from HORI, it's this beautiful black and gold Legend of Zelda one that kind of matches the Switch skin that I just used in my last video. I really like black and gold together. This is a portable stand that opens up like so, and the back pulls out for 3 different viewing angles for your Switch, which is great. And your Switch goes right here. You can also even use it for your Switch Lite. I've seen many people do this online, which I think is a genius idea if they're wanting to use a Bluetooth controller with their Switch Lite, since it can't be docked. This gives them a nice option to be able to set their Switch down and then use a traditional controller with it if they wanted, which can be more comfortable when playing on the Lite for a long period of time, especially if you're at home or something. The next accessory that I recommend are game cases. This one that I have right here is the cutest case that I've ever seen. I love the Gameboy, like we've already established. And this comes in a really nice DMG color scheme one, but it also has other colors. It's got a magnetic clamp and it holds 10 Switch games inside. It's really great for travel and bringing, more games than your game case might carry, but I also use it a lot even if I'm just at home. It prevents me from going through my game shelf and pulling out the case every time that I want to play a game. So right now what I do, which is way more convenient for me, is to have my most played games in my Switch carrying case and then have the rest stored here. So that way, if I'm looking for a game that I want, I can easily just pop it open and take it out and don't have to worry about messing up my shelves. Last but not the least, my favorite accessories for any device, which are carrying cases. One of my go-to ones right now is the Animal Crossing one, which is probably not surprising. I love this one because it goes with the color scheme of Animal Crossing, and it is also dual toned, so it matches the colors of the Animal Crossing Edition Nintendo Switch perfectly with the mint and the blue and the sort of sandy color that is on the dock in the back of the Joy-Cons. I do prefer carrying slim cases, so this one is perfect for me. This carries 5 games, and it also has a mesh pocket where I usually put cleaning wipes or the Joy-Con straps. This case as well, although I've never used it for that, you are able to prop up and use as a kickstand. You can just lay your Switch right here. It's still a more sturdier kickstand than the built-in one, so. And my favorite Switch case of all time, which you may have seen in my very first Switch video if you've watched that one. I got my first Switch over 2 years ago now, or 3 years ago. Time flies way too fast. But it is the Tomtoc. It's the hard shell slim pouch that they have, and it first caught my eye because it was the first company that did these designs at the front with the D-pad and the thumbsticks. I also really like it because of the material that they use. It is a hard shell and extremely durable on the outside, but on the inside is this really nice plush material that keeps your Switch protected, and it also acts almost like a microfiber cleaning cloth for the screen since it flops down right on top of the screen like so. It carries 8 games, so a little bit more than the Animal Crossing case that I have, and the best part about it, that I like at least, is the slim design. Even though it can't really carry anything else inside since it doesn't have a pocket or a space for much else really, it is perfect for me since I do tend to carry smaller bags in general. I don't have to worry about not having space for my Switch, and I'm able to carry it around with me, which is so great. Now that brings us to the last accessory for this video. I have all the products I mentioned today linked down below. By using those links, I am able to get a small commission from Amazon, so if you are interested in any of these products, please consider using those links to support this channel. The video isn't over yet though. I'm very excited to share that Tomtoc, yes, the maker of my all-time favorite Switch case, was very kind to want to partner with me in a giveaway. So besides their classic color range, they just recently came out with their M cases line. I love the colors on these ones. There are more color options for the M cases line, but these are the 2 that I chose for today. I love the pink and blue for the Switch Lite and also the sort of sunset colors for the regular Switch. I'm so thankful for this opportunity to partner up with them and be able to give back to the community that has been so amazing and supportive to this channel. I'm so excited to share with you something that I genuinely really love and use all the time. To enter the giveaway, which is probably what you want to know, but I can't stop raving about these cases, please head over to my Instagram page at _catplays. I will have it somewhere on the screen, and look for the photo that is featuring one of these M cases with the caption giveaway. The rules to enter will be on there and the deadline for the giveaway. 3 winners will be chosen at random, and you will be able to choose the size and color of the case that you would like. If you made it to the end of the video, I appreciate you. Let me know down below if any of these accessories are already your favorites, or if you have one that you might recommend for me to check out. Thank you so much for watching. See you next time.